Jewel actually has a question she's asking here. Do you need prior experience to get started on Etsy or with print on demand?
Well, I mean, as anything is preferable, but it's not, mandatory. Etsy, it's about creating a listing and listing it. And every day more people open. And just think about this: a lot of people who started on Etsy were people that were just sitting home and they were creating some, sockets, puppet sockets, and they were creating, like little buttons or little vinyl shirts, and they're like, I want to sell this, and they create a listing, So it's like, I mean, if they were able to learn without any e-commerce experience and they just wanted to sell something, it's not that difficult. Okay, and now you want to start getting more sales, more volume, and more profits and more products. Yes, it needs education like anything else. You need to to educate yourself and learn more about it. Print on demand, as I said, it can go as simple as going to YouTube and finding some tutorials on how to make a design, or finding their designs that are already sold. Somebody's already making, and hire a BA and Fiverr or something to say, hey, make me a couple of designs, or getting one of those softwares, like but there's some software like Photoshop and stuff like that, which requires some level of knowledge. But
And
there's
these
some
are,
other softwares.
sorry, Fernando, just to ask you a question. These are digital designs, right?
Yeah, digital designs.
So if someone, let's say someone's likes drawing or printmaking or something like that, they would need to get their creations in like a digital format in order to put it.
Yes, they
Oh,
have to be digital format, so you will have to digitalize it, which
mhm.
you know how you can do it. Otherwise, you can. Uh, for example, when I started Print on Demand, my daughter drew the first designs she did. I actually got somebody on Fiverr, and I took a picture of my design. Actually, it was scan picture of my design, and I sent it to people. Somebody on Fiverr said, "Can you digitize it?" I make it a transparent PNG, and I think they charged me like $3 per each one of them, and they make it. A file that I could use for print on demand. So you're one of those people that are very good on drawing. You can actually draw, and you can get somebody to make it a digital file out of it. It is not that difficult to make, to be honest. But if you are, like me, designing pair, you go to Fiverr or you go to any one of those websites, and you pay somebody on the other side of the world, literally pretty much nothing, and they can make them for you happen. It's
Just bring the ideas to them, and then they create
Yeah.
it in Photoshop or wherever.
Yes, I mean, a design is usually around a very basic design, which is really what you need at some point. It's about $5 a design in average. Now you start getting a BA, and you start paying him, virtual assistant, and you start paying him, like more to be in your payroll. Yeah, they can get lower to $2 or $3 per design, but they usually around that neighborhood. Now there are other tools like Make Merch. Make Merch. What's the name? Make Merch. No, it's not Make Merch. Make Merch.art. There's like $20 a month, and then they give you a bunch of design components that you can drag into a little square, and you can actually make your design by just dragging components. That makes it a lot easier. Actually,
So it's very that kind of ties into the question of, are there any startup costs on starting this whole Etsy print on demand business? But it really, I guess, depends on what you have to work with. If you're someone who knows how to create your own designs, great, you can upload those straight into your listings. If you're someone who has no experience whatsoever with designing, then you can easily go to some of these tools that you've mentioned and either create them yourself or ask someone to design them for you for $3 to $5 a design.
yes, I mean, print on demand, to be honest, is probably one of the e-commerce businesses that is the easiest barrier to entry. I mean, you literally can find tools like to make your own designs for free. If you look, like there's GIMP and there's other tools like that you can find for free. I honestly personally prefer paid programs, because I prefer quality and things like that. But if budget is an issue, you can find so much, free tools that you can start designing tomorrow. You just have to be very understanding of the copyright and trademark laws, because you cannot just say, I'm going to make a shirt with this phrase of a famous song or a famous movie, or the likeness of an actor or very famous characters from a movie or cartoons, those ones will get you shut down immediately. You cannot go and say phrases that are trademark, or even some states, the name of the states or symbols are trademark, and you cannot use them, for profit purposes. So you have to really, for example, like a lot of people like to got in trouble at some points because they were doing the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is trademarked by the city of Paris. You cannot use it to
Oh.
make profits out of it.
And
So
there's a place, like if you're ever unsure, there's a site that you can look up. Is it Trademarkia, or there's
yeah, there
some?
is trademark. Yeah, I haven't used that one in. I have forgotten about it. I
Mhm.
actually go to USPTO.gov, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and it's the one I use because to me I'd rather go to the source, which is because Trademarkia actually gets to the USPTO's database and actually gets information out of there. It gives you a little bit more of information on something else, but sometimes I have found that they don't get you their answers. Sometimes they say it's not no data and they didn't go and they didn't put the right one. So it is one of those that you have to do. I think we have a bunch of questions, so we better answer.
Yeah, I was going to move on to another question.